Welcome to another exciting Montreal Canadiens news video. I want to invite you to show your support by subscribing to the channel if you're not already, leaving a like on the video, and turning on the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest developments. After playing some of his worst professional hockey in his last campaign in Alberta in 2021-22, Monahan underwent surgery on his right hip after just 65 games. The Brampton, Ontario native was subsequently traded to the Montreal Canadiens, where he has been for a year and a half. Although his first year in Quebec was forgettable, Monahan played only 25 games before a foot fracture and subsequent groin injury cost him the final 57 games. He seemed like an entirely new player in 2023-24. Monahan has become one of Montreal's most reliable players this year, scoring an impressive 13 goals and 35 points in 49 games. Clearly, when healthy, he can still make a difference at the NHL level, which is remarkable considering what he has endured in recent seasons. Here's what he said about his last campaign in Calgary. "I tore the labrum in my other 3 games last season and kept playing. Later, I suffered 3 fractured ribs. They were sticking out of my back, and it was brutal. There were days I didn't even know what I was doing practicing because I couldn't even tie my own skates. It hasn't been an easy sled for the former Ottawa 67. With the Habs being one of the worst teams in the Eastern Conference, it makes sense for GM Kent Hughes to maximize the return for a player who will be an unrestricted free agent next summer." After missing 74 games in the last 2 seasons, Monahan has rebounded to become one of hockey's best comeback stories this year, and now a commodity before the trade deadline, wrote Frank Saravalli of the Daily Faceoff last week. For maximum impact, Monahan will play with 2 top wingers and/or a sniper. If he falls into the third-line center role, he could easily slot into the second line late in games, even at the wing position. This season, Monahan ranks 38th among all NHL forwards in completed passes with uniform strength. He has the 7th highest face-off win percentage, 56.9%, which is 5th among left-shooting centers, and he is the best at winning penalty shot draws, 55.9%, among centers with at least 600 face-offs taken directly. Undoubtedly, Sean Monahan is a completely different player, with injury troubles behind him, and there should be a significant market for the potential game-changer among the bottom 6. Chris Johnston of The Athletic recently placed Monahan 4th in his latest NHL trade board. Here's what the Insider had to say about this player. "There were teams at last year's trade deadline with interest in acquiring Monahan before it was determined that a groin injury would keep him out for the rest of the season. Fortunately, the veteran pivot is healthy enough to suit up for all of the Canadiens' games so far in 2023-24, suggesting he will be an attractive rental option for the second time. Several teams have already called Montreal to inquire about his services," wrote Johnston. Monahan's cap hit is below $2 million this season, and he has no trade protection. The Habs could further increase their return by retaining salary, offering extremely good value for a player logging over 18 minutes per game this season. Monahan will almost certainly occupy a lower spot in the lineup for any potential acquiring team, but he represents an upgrade over what most contenders have among the bottom 6. On Tuesday, Johnston's colleague, Pierre Lebrun, reported that, due to his low cap hit and strong play this year, Monahan could fetch a first-round pick before the NHL trade deadline. So, who should pick up the phone, and potentially part with a first-rounder, to acquire the Canadian? Some teams stand out. The Edmonton Oilers are an obvious fit for Monahan's services. They've already decided to stack the top line with Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and Zach Hyman, while Ryan Nugent-Hopkins holds the 2C position. Monahan could immediately slot into the 3C role and be an upgrade over Ryan McLeod. There likely isn't a more ideal fit for Edmonton's advanced group, especially with the team doing much better in their own zone lately. The Oilers are Stanley Cup contenders, riding a 16-game winning streak, and should inquire about Monahan immediately. Now, I want to hear your opinion, dear fan. Leave your comments below as they are important for my work. Don't forget to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news.